Security is not in the job, it's in the person. You see, too many young people are chasing what they think is stability, a steady paycheck, a cubicle, a 9 to 5. But in today's world, a real job might be the most dangerous thing you could pursue. Scott Gerber, entrepreneur, speaker, and author, wrote a book with a controversial but honest title, Never Get a Real Job. And the message is clear. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the economy to get better. Build something of your own. So today, we're going to walk through the key lessons in this book, not just to understand them, but to live them. Because the time to create your future is now. Part 1. The Myth of the Real Job. Gerber opens the book by destroying the illusion of the real job. He says, the job market is broken, and he's right. We're told to get a degree, polish a resume, and pray someone hires us. But here's the problem. Jobs are not designed for your freedom. They're designed for someone else's vision. In the book, Scott shares his own story. He was a college dropout who started a production company. It failed. But instead of crawling back to corporate life, he learned, adapted, and built a business that worked. One based on real customer needs and his own hustle. Here's the takeaway. You don't need a perfect resume. You need a solution to a real problem. That's what creates income and impact. Part 2. Be a doer, not a dreamer. We've all heard the phrase, follow your passion. But passion without execution is just noise. Gerber says, dreamers sit in coffee shops. Doers are out in the streets, testing ideas. In the book, he introduces a rule. Screw the business plan. Just get started. Now don't misunderstand. Planning has its place. But too many people plan forever and execute never. The marketplace rewards speed and action. Gerber tells the story of a friend who wanted to start a web design business. He kept planning, branding, strategizing, but never landed a client. Meanwhile, someone else simply started knocking on doors and said, "Can I help with your website?" Within weeks, he had paying clients. Be the person who does, not just the one who dreams. Get your first customer, then learn. Part 3. Solve problems. Don't sell products. In business, the only thing that matters is value. Gerber hammers this point home. Don't sell products. Solve problems. One powerful example in the book is about a guy who started a tutoring company. Not because he loved math, but because he saw parents willing to pay for help with their kids' education. He didn't build a fancy brand or website at first. He printed flyers and hit the pavement. Within a year, he had a thriving business. Here's the philosophy. Find a pain point, offer a solution, charge fairly, and scale what works. You don't need investors. You don't need tech. You need to understand people's problems better than anyone else. Part 4. Be a hustler, not a victim. Too many people blame the economy, their upbringing, or bad luck. Gerber is blunt. No one owes you anything. He writes, you don't need permission. You need persistence. There's a great story in the book about a kid who started making YouTube videos teaching software shortcuts. No budget, no equipment, just a screen recording and a voice. Fast forward, he's running a 6-figure online business. You see, hustle means using what you do have instead of crying over what you don't. Jim Rohn used to say, "Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better." That's what Scott's message is all about. You become valuable by doing hard things consistently, not waiting for a break, but creating one. Part 5. Learn fast, fail fast, fix fast. Failure isn't fatal. What's fatal is the refusal to learn. Gerber talks about his failed video production business. He had fancy gear, flashy branding, but no one was buying. Why? He was focused on what he wanted to sell, not what customers wanted to buy. He learned quickly, adjusted, and launched a service people actually needed. That's the secret. Not avoiding failure, but responding to it like a scientist, not a victim. Fail fast, learn faster, and never take failure personally. Part 6. Keep it simple. Complexity kills execution. Gerber emphasizes simplicity again and again. One chapter is called Don't Innovate, Replicate. He's not saying don't be creative. He's saying don't reinvent the wheel. Find a proven model. Start small. Simplify your service. He highlights a woman who launched a dog walking service. No tech, no brand, just reliability and referrals. That's it. Build lean, start quick, serve well. The rest comes later. Keep it simple and profitable. So let's bring it home. Scott Gerber didn't write, "Never get a real job" to shock you. He wrote it to free you. To remind you that in a world that worships credentials, what people really want is results. You don't need a degree to start. You don't need investors. You don't need a miracle. You need a reason, a work ethic, and the guts to say, if it's going to happen, it's up to me. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. So don't wait for a job to validate your worth. Go create your worth. And remember, the best way to never get a real job is to build a real business.